The firewall on a server belonging to a DNC vendor that hosts voter information failed on Wednesday. Documents reviewed by NBC News appear to show that at least 4 individuals affiliated with the Sanders campaign accessed proprietary Clinton material. The National Party reacted by shutting off Sanders' access to the data. Sanders' campaign blasted the move over reaction, saying it would likely cost them $600,000 a day in donations. They even filed a lawsuit Friday setting up a late-night court showdown. Their access was eventually restored, but not before creating some ugly exchanges in an otherwise friendly primary.
On 24 different occasions, they downloaded that data and tried to get on an upper hand over the Clinton campaign through nefarious means. It's just unacceptable. And again, for somebody that said they were going to run a different kind of campaign. They were like kids in a candy store, Wolf. They had about 40 minutes where they ran wild. And there was one individual, there was one staffer from their campaign who first realized it and then extended permissions to 3 other staffers, and they went hog wild, downloading as much data as they could get in about 25 minutes.
The leadership of the DNC has used this incident to shut down our ability to access our own information which is the lifeblood of this campaign. The leadership of the Democratic National Committee is now actively attempting to undermine our campaign. This is unacceptable. Individual leaders of the DNC can support Hillary Clinton in any way they want, but they are not going to sabotage our campaign, one of the strongest grassroots campaigns in modern history.
The Sanders campaign, unfortunately, doesn't have anything other than bluster at the moment that they can put out there that is just like if you walked into someone's home when the door was unlocked and took things that don't belong to you in order to be able to use them for your own benefit.
You mean like
getting your own server?
Having your own server in your house and circumventing the rules. Nika, this is such an overreaction by the DNC. Well, Michael, it looks like such an inside job. The only person that has helped in this process is Bernie Sanders, because everybody knows they're running a grassroots campaign. It's a bottom-up campaign, small donors. And this is fixed. This is
feels
rigged.
Like the DNC
this is why Americans
core.
hate politics.
That reaction to what happened, a computer glitch, the Sanders campaign, whatever they do, they do. The reaction that we showed in that first clip is so over the top. It's almost enough you want to go out and get a Bernie Sanders bumper sticker.
I got to dissent here. I agree with you what you're saying about the DNC, but what the Sanders campaign did was completely inappropriate. And if Hillary Clinton's campaign...
I hate that word.
No, it is, though. If Hillary Clinton's campaign was caught, they went in and they tried to look at and think about taking data. And there's still unanswered questions.
May I ask you something, Mark? Is it inappropriate to get your own server in your own home and use your private... I'm just wondering, was that inappropriate? Yes or no?
It was, of course.
Totally inappropriate.
It was, but
beyond inappropriate.
But it's unconnected to this. What the Sanders campaign did.
I feel like people like you sometimes have like some sort of weird fear of saying that Hillary Clinton has done something completely inappropriate, perhaps against policy, and perhaps for... No, I'm serious. Everyone just like shuts down. Look at this. But then Bernie Sanders has some rogue person in his campaign.
You've never heard me say what I think about her using a private server?
Tell me again. I missed it.
Totally wrong against policy and set a horrible example. And the Justice Department's continuing to investigate it as they should.
And did Hillary Clinton lie on stage on Saturday night about Donald Trump's being an ISIS recruiter?
She was factually incorrect. I'm not sure I'd say lie in that case, but she was wrong.
What benefit did
say lie, but it was wrong. But none of this has anything to do with the fact that the Sanders campaign, they might have gotten a huge benefit. They would have seen her targeting of voters in Iowa and New Hampshire in a way that they could then take advantage of. If Hillary Clinton's campaign had gone into Bernie Sanders' data and exploited an error by the vendor of the DNC, it would be the talk of...
We would have been killing him.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. It is inappropriate.
So the fact that she said something wrong about Donald Trump in the debate, and the fact that she used her own server and potentially mishandled classified information, all deserves scrutiny. But that should not let the Sanders campaign. This is pretty bad on the scale.
Yeah.
This is pretty bad what they did.
It doesn't justify what the Sanders people did, which is totally wrong. And I would, like Bernie Sanders did, if my people did that, I would fire him in a second.
Yeah.
Which is what he did. I will say, though, the Clinton people should be smarter than this to know they don't need to be talking about emails and data and things like that.
Well, they're trying to use this to undermine his reputation as running a different kind of campaign, because they know if they lose to him in Iowa and New Hampshire, they've got a big problem.
But doesn't it look like the process is even more rigged with what Debbie Wasserman Schultz did?
Yeah.
Oh.
And so you're exactly right. You're exactly right. The Sanders people, what they did was completely wrong and unethical. It was wrong, but the overreach actually ends up hurting Hillary more than those that committed the original offense.
Here's David Axelrod. David Axelrod, without evidence that his hierarchy knew about data poaching, harsh penalty for Bernie Sanders looks like the DNC is putting finger on the scale. The disproportionate DNC reaction actually got Bernie Sanders' crew off the hook for their own stupidity. Not helpful to
also
Hillary
true.
Clinton. David Axelrod, not me.
Also true.
That's exactly what we were just saying, that they actually ended up letting them off.
You feel badly for Bernie Sanders.
I want to show the